Cool. Real as it gets. I'm not actually sure what episode it is because I haven't done this in a while. I want to say 15, 16. But today I'm lucky enough to have my good mate on, Ryan Lea, a.k.a. the Yardfather, and we're going to talk about his upcoming project.
Yes.
So before we get straight onto the project, obviously I know you through work, and obviously anyone that has heard you spoke knows that you're from a mountain somewhere in Wales. Talk to me about why it is you chose London to start your fitness career and everything that's led you up until the project this far.
Okay. Well, it's where the money's at, isn't it?
What, Wales or London?
No, London. Should I go right back to the beginning?
Yeah, go back.
Right then.
Like, why did you even get into fitness? Because everyone started somewhere before fitness.
Yeah.
What made you choose this fucked up industry?
Do you know what I done? Picked a book. Just picked up a book on nutrition once. I was just like reading it and looked through it. I was like, wow. When you read a book, sometimes you read a couple of pages, you're like, this is shit.
Yeah. Most
I'm
books
not
for
into
me.
this, yeah. Once I picked that book up on nutrition, I was like, fuck.
You said, I remember you
down.
saying this before, you was proper dialed in reading.
Yeah. Like I couldn't put it down. So I was like, this is weird because I'm not used to reading things which I get excited about or I'm really into. So I was reading that. So I was like, perhaps this is my path I need to go down. I've always been in sport. I've always been in fitness. And so it was like I stepped away from it when I started working and stuff. Done stupid jobs I didn't want to do. So then it was like it kind of reignited the passion in fitness and training again. And so read that. Bought, what's his name? Dan John. You're the Dan John, old school strength coach.
Of course I have.
American guy. I think he's either American or he was born in Scotland, moved to America. Read one of his books on training. Found that epic as well. Was training myself, doing like bodybuilding stuff.
Yeah, everyone starts on
all that
bodybuilding,
shit,
don't they?
Yeah.
As soon as they watch a YouTube
Yeah. So I got into it. I started studying it, started thinking about it. I was working in mental health at the time as a support worker. So I had plenty of time to read, plenty of time to sit down. And from there, I went a bit too mad into it. So I was like, right, I'm into this now. So I started watching videos on YouTube, following certain people, bodybuilding.com, all that kind of stuff.
Fucking hell, I remember bodybuilding.com.
Old school, yeah. Got into that. As I was working as a support worker, I always had the thought of, can I be a PT? And I think that role as a support worker and helping people who are vulnerable and with mental illness, it gave me the belief to go, okay, I can actually do this now. Rather than being like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Perhaps I'm not good with people, perhaps. But once I got into that job, I threw myself into the deep end. I had to learn on the job kind of thing, because I'd never had experience.
Was this at the mental health place?
Yeah.
How did you even stumble across that? What made you go for that job?
Stepmother was working in there, and they were looking for support workers.
Was it taxing? On the head?
No, not really. I loved it.
He was a patient.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I was pretending that I was a support worker, but I weren't. So got into that. Within that job, and I was like, I can actually do this. So then the drive went up even more, and I was like, right, I'm going to do my PT course now. I'm going to do, I think it's level 2 first, no? Level 2 gym instructor.
Like being a gym instructor.
Yeah. Load of shit.
It's bollocks, isn't it? Level 2 courses. Yeah, most of it's shit, to be fair.
You only learn when you start properly. So I've done that, done the level 3. It was a couple of years then before I started working in it. Well, I didn't start working in it until I moved to London. So while I was studying, doing my courses, the thought was there then of like, right, I've experienced gyms where I live. I've experienced, like, there's a CrossFit gym, there's mostly bodybuilding gyms. I didn't believe I fitted into those gyms. So I was like, right, where can I take this and where can I take it as far as possible? So it was always London. And I had friends that lived in London, worked in London. We used to go clubbing in London, like from the age of 18, we were coming up here on the weekends, go Ministry of Sound, the Egg, all them places.
Egg, fucking hell.
All the mad places, you know?
Mad ones.
So the experience was there, and I'd always leave London with this, like, I'd be gutted. I'd be heartbroken to leave. Like, I don't want to leave this. I'm enjoying myself too much. So the place was always in my heart, and I'd experienced the place, but then it was like, to be a successful coach and to go as far as you believe you can go, I felt London was the place, and London was where I'd have to be to do everything I need to do and everything I want to do. So once we'd done that, done my courses, then came the time of, I'll do it next year. I'll do it next year. Oh, all right. In 6 months' time, I'm going to move there. Never happened.
Where did you have the thought? Tell them about the epiphany moment. Tell them.
So, the putting it off. And then I think it was 2012, we went to Glastonbury. Now, in my town, Glastonbury is like a yearly holiday for everyone. The whole town goes. We've got systems set up where everyone gets tickets for each other. There'll be maybe 200 plus people from my town, and we all know each other. We all meet up there.
I was going to say, do you meet up and stuff like
that?
that?
Yeah, it's madness. We got systems where if I get my tickets, I got another 3 sets of people to get tickets for. Other groups of friends do that, so we all help each other and network to get the tickets and get in there. So it's this mad setup and this mad experience. This was my 8th or 9th Glastonbury, I think.
Fucking hell.
But getting older.
How long do they last?
We go up on a Tuesday. So Wednesday opens. We start in the queue on Tuesday, finish on a Monday. So,
every day on it?
Oh, yeah. It's an endurance event.
That gives me the fear, man.
Yeah, it's not easy. But we went up this time. I partied hard. I had probably my best Glastonbury. The weather was good. It was just a special one. So then coming back from that, I was building at the time. So the Friday after Glastonbury, I was still in a bad way. I was, in a real bad way, actually. We went to work and we were working on this house, hacking it off. And we had the scaffolding set up. And on the scaffolding, we were just sweeping the rubble off it. So it was like just a shitty job to just ease back into life. We were just doing bits. I remember sweeping that scaffolding. And next thing you know, it was a rainy day anyway. But I remember looking up and the blackest, darkest storm cloud I have ever seen literally just pulled over the top of us. And it started pissing down. And it was proper hammering down. And I just had my little moment where I stopped, put the sweeping brush down. I was just standing in the rain, soaked, like within 30 seconds. You know, you just soaked. Yeah. It was too late to run to the van.
Yeah, you just got to get soaked.
So I was just like, yeah. And I remember standing there, I remember looking up, and it was a proper like movie moment. And I was just looking up, rain splashing my face. I went, that's it, I'm done. Booked my ticket that day. It was my mother's 60th birthday the Saturday after. So all the mother's 50th birthday the Saturday after. All the family were there, obviously big 50. So I stayed until then, celebrated her birthday with her. And then on the Sunday, got my train up.
Never looked back?
Never looked back.
Where did you stay?
Slept on my mate's floor for like 2 months. Just walking round, giving my CVs to gyms. Like I didn't even know, like now I know.
Where did you apply to?
My first place I applied was
F45.
LA Fitness in Camden. Not
LA
Camden,
Fitness,
Kentish Town. So like, walked around. I didn't know at the time, you don't do CVs in fitness. So I had like printed out CVs, like you're going to go into an office job. Just
hire me, around. Please, hire me.
So going up to receptions going, oh yeah, here's my CV, any jobs going.
I can imagine it being so awkward handing one in as well. So not even making eye contact.
Yeah.
Like, job?
Who I am now compared to who I was when I first moved up. I was a different person. You know what I'm like.
Yeah.
And what I'm like now is awkward as fuck. What I was like then is like extremely awkward. Strong Welsh accent as well. So when I moved to London, I had to learn how to speak again because I couldn't speak.
Because it's not strong at the moment. It's not strong at the moment at all.
Like 8 years now I've been up here.
Fucking hell.
But I say I couldn't speak English. I'd speak Welsh English, which is moulding words together, and I'm lazy with how I speak anyway, so I slur my words, and so people found it really hard for me to understand me. And went around chucking CVs in, got a job working boot camps in parks, worked for this fitness brand. Didn't know, he sent me to Green Park for one of my first sessions. Didn't know you had to have a fucking license to do it. I got cautioned by police on my first boot camp in Green Park. They probably read me my rights in front of everyone. I was just like,
embarrassing.
What's going on? They're like, oh, you got to have a license to train a park. I said, train a park? So I'm from Wales. I'm surrounded by parks and fucking mountains and beaches.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
get charged most places over here. I think Paddington Rep by me is the only one that doesn't.
Yeah, so it was a weird setup and all these experiences, but I say I got my first job, got myself a room somewhere in this house that I don't know how they got away with putting like 10 people in there, but it was a 4-person house with 10 people in it, with a tiny little fridge to share with everyone. But good learning experiences that allowed me to understand life quick. The boot camps allowed me to learn how to travel. The living in an absolute shithole allowed me to go, right, I'm not going to fucking do that again. So I had good life lessons straight away, so I could make better choices then went into Pure Gym Hammersmith. I like to go into gyms when they open up, because you're the first face in there then, and you settle in straight away. It's hard to go to a gym with established people in them. So imagine you're going into a gym with 20 PTs, been there for 2 years. It'd be hard for you to build up. So seeing Pure Gym Hammersmith was opening, went there for 2 years. Then seen Gymbox was opening in Victoria. So I was like, again, another opportunity to start fresh. Went for that, got in there. And then after 2 years there, I went to Manor. And that's like...
Yeah, how did you even meet Charlie?
Chapter. So it all started in Gymbox. When I was working there, I love strongman training. So I see they do a strongman class. I see them teaching it. So one of the guys who runs it, I went up to him one day. He was taking us through another session you do to teach. They take you through the sessions to teach classes. So he took me up there. I went up there to meet him, to go over another class. And as he was, as we were chatting, he just went, oh. I said, oh, is there any chance to teach a strongman class? And he said, oh, funny you say that. The guy who was teaching has just left, and we need someone to teach you. So again, like,
it all fell into
everything
place.
fell into place, yeah.
It's weird when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah. And like, I'll tell you one thing. I do believe, I don't know, I've always believed that I'm meant for something more. Weirdly, I could be bullshitting myself.
No,
it could be a lie that you believe, but it gets you to a good place.
Yeah.
Or perhaps it is meant to be. I don't know. Like, I'm not, there's no ego in this, and there's no ego in anything I do. But even as a kid, I was like, I always believe I'm not meant for Port Talbot, where I'm from. Like, even London now, am I meant for this place? I don't know, but I believe I'm always meant that there's more I can do, there's more I can be, there's more I can help. So it's like, I don't know where I'm meant to be, but I've always had that weird belief. Like I say, I could be lying to myself, but who knows, you know? So I've always had that, but these kind of things, I have tough lessons in life early on. So everything I do, like even when I moved to London, they were tough lessons straight away. In life, in school, in first jobs, everything was like things I didn't want to do or things I said I'd never do. So I got taught the lessons fast. But everything seems to have come into place. And even now, everything is coming into place slowly, which is good. So again, that belief is still there, and I still fucking live by it, you know? But yeah, so again, the stars aligned. He was like, oh, we need someone to teach a strong man. I was like, yeah, so I'll do it. First day I done it, this group of people has already been doing it for like a year and a half. So they're all like, oh, look at me up and down when I walk in. And I'm like, oh.
Eyeing up the car.
All right then. But what maybe someone might have gone is like, oh, they don't want me to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas I looked at them and was like, oh, you fucking look me up and down.
Yeah.
Put you
What's
all in
this?
your fucking places now, yeah. So I created the concept with the strongman, made it more about the heavier weights and pushing people to lift heavier. It became really popular. We put an extra session on in Gym Box Farringdon where we were doing it. Then when they opened the new gym boxes, they moved them to other sites, and around that time, strongman was getting really popular anyway, so it was the perfect time and everything went really well. And then it was just, we got to the, like I got to where I felt I could go in gym box. And then it was kind of like, right, it's time now. It's time to do your own thing and do it your way kind of thing. So I was looking for an opportunity somewhere else, looking to build my own gym somewhere. I had a big inspiration from CrossFit. When I first started doing CrossFit years and years ago, when it first became popular and I came into my town, when I walked in the space, it's an industrial unit with just some wood on the floor, mats, kettlebells, plates, barbells. That was it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is genius because there's nothing.
Yeah.
You don't need anything.
Hardly anything to it.
What put me off, in the beginning, it was really like the people I was training with, they were just deep into CrossFit. And I enjoyed it, but I didn't see it as the be all and end all. So I was like, it's nice, but I moved away from it then. And so that inspiration gave me the thing of, I want to build a gym. I've always wanted to build a gym. So after that point in Gym Box, I was like, right, I'm either going to build my own gym now or find somewhere where I can have the opportunity to implement my systems, my beliefs, my structures. I had them all in my head, but I didn't have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
So I was walking around, going to different gyms again, started shopping around, seeing who's about. Went up to a gym called Metabolic in Camden, chatted to them. But as I was chatting to them, I think Charlie was doing stuff with them at the time. So I seen Charlie on their Instagram.
So Charlie, for anyone new listening, is a guy who runs Manor, the guy who me and Ryan work for. He's our boss. And he's a fair boss, to be fair, isn't he? I've worked with some cunts in the past. Yeah. He's a good guy.
Bit of a knob, but don't give him too much credit.
So yeah, Charlie.
So I started following him. And then just he'd pop up on my Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden then he posted a picture and it was a building site, him in a building site. And in his hashtags, there was a hashtag Victoria. So I was like, hold on. I was working in Gym Box Victoria at the time and looking. So I was like, this is perfect. So I messaged him and I was like, if you're going to open a gym in Victoria, let's have a chat. This could be cool. Because I like what he done.
Yeah.
Like what I seen on his Instagram, it looked cool.
Yeah.
Also, W1 looked a lot bigger in photos than it did in real life as well. But it looked cool. I loved his training. I loved his ethos. Like everything he was doing on there. I was like, this is fucking sick. And then when I seen that, then I was like, okay, it's let's have a chat. And then sat down with him, had a coffee. And you just meet someone you're like the first person I've met who I believe is exactly like me.
Yeah, on the same page.
Same page, like same direction, just shared all these same things. So it's like, fuck, I've been looking for this for ages. It's hard to find people with like the same passion, the same drive, the same. It's like some people want to do it, and then some people really want to fucking do it. And I felt that with him. So yeah, I was speaking to him and we sat down, got on really well, trained together. He loved the training we done. So he came to train in Gym Box with me, him and Martin, MW5.
Oh, okay.
Another legend. Yeah.
He's fucking wicked, man.
Yeah.
He's turned King's Cross into his own space, like.
Greatest dad in the world.
Yeah, he's a wicked dad, isn't he?
Super dad. For all the dads, watch Martin and learn from him.
MW5, follow him.
Super dad. So they come and trained. We trained again, built that connection up, and so he took me over then to see Victoria and see the site. So we walked in, through the door, down the stairs. There's a big rig in the middle in the beginning, But it was like, yeah, it's a nice space. It's a good setup. Everything's set up right. Showed me the studio. It was good setup in the studio as well. Change rooms are cool. Showers are cool. It's just a nice little space, isn't it? Hidden off the street. It's not too in your face, but it's got everything you need, and it's enough space, which in London can be. It's hard to find so much space. But then after he showed me around, he said, "Oh, we've got this car park out the back as well. Have a look at this."
But your ears just went up like, what?
Yeah, I was like, huh? So I had a little twitch. My eyebrows just went like, what? Took me out the back, and that was it. I was just like...
Obviously, because I've been there for over a year, I can't picture what it was even like as just a car park, because it looks fucking sick now.
Yeah, it was just a big empty space. I said the lights weren't covered, so it was super bright in there, but it was just concrete floors, big square space, and dusty. There's smoke vents down along the side of the building, so the homeless people in Victoria used to piss down through the vents, so it'd stink of piss in there.
Nice.
Just
add to the workout.
But as soon as I seen it, I was just like, I literally said,
this pissy space is a bit of me.
Yeah, forget inside. This is special. And as soon as I seen it, I was just like, this is it. So again, everything aligned. He showed me that. The office group who own the building, I said, "Oh, see if we can train out there." So he spoke to them. He's got a really great relationship with the owners of that. They were like, "Yeah, we can use it. There's aircon units inside there, so they can't have petrol fumes going through it."
Okay.
So it was a dead space.
That was the reason they can't use it.
So they couldn't use it.
Yeah.
And no one was touching it, so we were like, let's use it. So then we started training out there. I'll give Charlie the credit. He came up with the name Yardwork.
Yeah. Did he?
So that's the only credit I'll ever give him. He don't deserve any more after that. So he came up with the name Yardwork, and we found these like orange roadworks barriers, fire extinguishers, and we started building this training space. So we'd wheel all the machines out. We would... I went back to Wales to go to my little shed in my nan's garden to get my shitty kettlebells and my barbells and my plates.
Did you get your nutrition book?
Get my nutrition
book. Bring that with you as well. Dust it up.
And brought all them up. Also, there's a thing in Swansea, which is it's a city next to my town. They do the cement run every year. It's like a charity thing where they run up this hill with a bag of cement on their shoulder. So after watching that and thinking, right, how can we get kit in this space without it being, well, we haven't got enough money to buy tons of kit. So we were like, right, we're going to make kit. So we turned the fire extinguishers into weights. We've spent more time in Leyland buying stuff for that gym than we have buying gym kit. We bought bags of cement and duct taped them. We bought flood sandbags, which would leak sand over everyone.
Wasn't it like a running joke if anyone used to come in with nice gym gear?
Yeah. You'd be laughed. People would laugh if you came in.
If they were kitted out in all fresh Nike?
Yeah, if you were in like your clean clothes, people would laugh when you come in because you wear like the stuff you'd paint your house to train in this space. And in London at the time, there was nothing like that, was it? It was all clean.
But before I even knew you, like, it kept popping up on my Insta feed. I was like, that place looks fucking nuts.
Yeah. It was just mirrors. London's like flashy lights, mirrors everywhere, clean, trendy. There's loads of cool gyms, but this was like a shock to the system. People would leave with like bruises and cuts and covered in dust and just be like, leave. It was their badge of honor. You know?
Yeah.
So they'd just leave with this mad experience, and they'd take that and just come back the week after that. And over a year, we built it to like twice a week. So it was still kind of an exclusive thing. So people would make an effort to come rather than it being on every day and it kind of watered down. Those 2 days a week, you'd have 30, 40 people out there. If it rained, we made them run outside in the rain. It was just proper, rough, mad, crazy. Even the workouts in the beginning, there was no structure around them. It was just come in.
Just go nuts.
The challenge was to who can work the hardest.
Yeah.
And people would do it. There was no reason behind. It'd be like a minute on each station, and you do as many reps as you can and move on to the next one. And like old school circuits, but there was this ethos, this mentality, this chaos within everyone that just wanted to push themselves, which was, it was crazy. Once that got popular and built over like a year and a half, there was talk then of turning the area into like a storage area, because we were just using it as just a empty space. So that was kind of the kick up the arse we needed then to convert it into what it is now, which is MCP.
MCP is a mad space. If no one's been, that's one that's one reason to get to Manor alone.
Yeah.
Get to MCP.
And like, yeah, with MCP, I knew, looking at other gyms, I'm a builder by trade, and I see inefficiency on gym space. So looking at all these other gyms and experiencing all these other gyms, I always go into them and go, they could have designed this better or positioned things better to allow more room for people to maneuver. So in MCP, as soon as I seen that space, I knew exactly how we should set it up, how we could create an opportunity to teach 2 sessions at once.
Did you go to John with the idea of how to set it up?
Yeah, so like the cage, everything is just my vision of, I didn't want to lose the feeling of being in the car park. So a cage allows you to see through it. So now we can still see all the wires, all the metal work, all the shit that was always in there is still visible. So the cage was a big player in it. The things we did have to lose, obviously, was the floor to make it more efficient. So we used to pull wooden crates as sleds. Now we got a, 20 metre by 6 metre AstroTurf track.
That track, yeah.
In the bays, we could just about scrape 2 squat racks per car park bay, which is like 2 parking spaces. So we got them at the back against the wall. So it allowed then, now we've got like a conditioning area with the sleds and the machines all along one side up against the fence. And then we've got a step up into the lifting area, which is all mats, and then the squat racks back against the wall. So it creates this epic space. You still see everything you would have ever seen in the car park, but the efficiency levels have gone up now because we got mats that can handle the weight, we got turf that can handle the sleds, and we've got our 2 areas that we can break down into 2 training spaces at a time. And even with the new strength area now, that space was like a walkway, but what we've done now is built an extra area that Jason has decided to own.
Yeah, he thinks it's his, doesn't he?
Yeah.
How funny. Who put his bar in the rack the other day? That was fucking funny, because I know that pissed him off.
Yeah, Jason Copeman's a powerlifting coach.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have him on soon.
Yeah, 100%.
But he's hogged the little strength area now that we've created.
Got his SBD logo up.
SBD logo up.
You know.
Yeah, he's full into it. He's marked his territory. So yeah, we built that. We built it all. Then COVID kind of hit, so we didn't have much of a build-up to push it out there. So COVID hit, all that shit's gone on for the last couple of years. So now we're on a nice run again, a nice run of building it up and taking it to where it could be. And it could be a game changer in the fitness industry. I honestly believe that. Not for, again, it's not ego. It's not thinking we're the best. It's just, I see efficiency in simplicity. And what we do in MCP, which we might do different to other gyms, is we just focus on strength when we train strength.
Yeah.
We just focus on conditioning when we train conditioning. We got grunt work, which is your hybrid of strongman. And we got yard work, which is the thing that started it, and we'll never lose that, which is, it's much more structured now. But what we found is how to put it into a team game. So there's so much more accountability for your teammates. It makes people get to know other people, even if they didn't know them before. It builds the bond, and it's the session that builds the community, the bond, the drive, all that kind of stuff gets created within that yard work sesh. So they all play this big part in helping each other, but all we want to do is build strong, fit, and mentally strong people.
Yeah.
So it all ties into that. And as I say, mindset is probably at the front of it. If you don't, you got to decide in your head to go to the gym. Body doesn't take you to the gym. So if you master the head, everything else is a lot easier then. And that's how we do it, and that's what we believe. So, yeah.
So after building that space, though, why this? Why the new project? You've already built one of the sickest spaces in the UK easily. Why do you want to go off and do your own thing? Well, not go off and do your own thing, but you want to have something that's yours.
This is the next step.
Yeah.
So with MCP and everything we've done there, we've got our hub now, and we've got our hub to. Everything I want to do is, I love the saying that the people who change the world are the people who believe they can change the world. And it's like, as mad as it sounds, I class everything we do in MCP as life training. The side effect is you're going to get fit and you're going to get strong. But everything we're doing within that gym is preparing people for life. You're going to be fit enough, strong enough, and mentally tough enough to take on anything that life throws you. So it's more than just training. It's not, I don't give a shit about vanity and how you look. And what I want you to feel is confident and physically strong enough, physically fit enough, but also with a mindset that when life does throw kicks in the face to you, you're going to take them and keep moving forward. Because it is going to do it. And with this, with the next step now, which is Project Arawn, everything I'm doing is I'm going to try and help as many people as I can and create as many opportunities as I can to show people a different way. Because I feel right now, the way we are heading with technology and all the shit that's going on, I think it's down a dark path. And I want to do my bit to try and change the direction.
So talk us through it. Talk us through it.
So I get my little book.
Yeah. Get your book out. Get your notes out.
Yeah.
So, why that name? Let's start there. Why that name? Why that logo?
So,
and then we'll talk about where it is and what to expect.
When I wanted to create the project was designed to. It's designed to show people a different way of life, an old way of life. It's nothing new. It's just perhaps the old way was the best way. There's nothing wrong with technology and the good it does for us, but don't lose touch with.
It's the amount of technology we use, right?
It's like, and we're going down paths now, which you're playing with nature, you're playing with. It's a deep conversation, but it's what it is it's being used too much. It's like use it for the good, but then don't forget how we once were and who we were. So when I was creating it, I didn't want to just do, we're going to do a training weekend. I wanted to create a story around it. So as I was doing my investigating in the area we're going to do it in, I know obviously being from Wales, and it's something we talk about as we grow up, is being a Celt and being Celtic. So there's a lot of Irish in my town. A lot of my great-grandparents are Irish and Welsh. So that's already there. And it's always this talk of the Celts. And in school, in history, we learn about Celtic warriors, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to tie it into an old way of thinking and an old way of doing things. So Arawn is actually the god of the otherworld in Welsh Celtic mythology. But for Arawn, the otherworld was like a paradise. He used to guard this paradise. And what you got with the Celts is they were, even though they were small in numbers, they were quite fierce in battle, and there's not much history of them and not much writing on them, but the writing the Romans did do on them, they said they were one of their toughest opponents. So I believe, this is my belief as well, that the reason of that is because they knew if they died in battle, they would go to this, how to pronounce it? Anun, the word is. That's where this paradise is.
Similar to like the Nordics, and they believe in Valhalla kind of thing.
So you'd go to there. So
you're hoping to die.
Yeah, they fought fearlessly and with everything they had because they thought they would move on to this paradise then where food was plentiful, everyone got on, they lived in peace, it was calm. So I found that and I was like, this is perfect because I want us to go to our other world. So that's where the name come from. It's a project to recreate our other world. And it's my quote that I say with it is, it's an experience of old to correct the new. So that's why we called it Project Arawn. So the theory behind it and the history behind it is embedded in Wales as well. This is a god of Wales. There was a tribe called the Salures tribe that actually lived on the land that we're going to do the camp on. So all this history is in exactly where we're going to do it. So I wanted to tie it to Wales, like, as you probably know, I'm very patriotic of
Fucking
Wales.
proper patriot.
Yeah, like I lose a plot. I'm very passionate, but that's how Welsh people are. And it's like where I'm from, what do we call it? Mordor.
Yeah, oh,
It's a
mate.
shit
Some of the pictures you've sent,
Yeah.
depressing as fuck.
It's about 4 miles long, the town.
But you love it, fair play.
And the steelworks is 4 miles long between us and the beach.
Big A road going over the town.
big, M4.
Oh, is it?
The M4 goes past us and the mountain. So between a giant motorway and a giant steelworks is this town. It's I think it is the most polluted town in Europe.
I can imagine. So just from the pictures, it looked polluted.
Yeah. So, but what I love is the people,
Yeah.
the outlook of everyone. I live in there all my life. I'm like, this place is epic. Until you go away and come back, it's like, oh, okay, steelworks is pretty bad. But living there all my life and be like, this place is, I love this place. We're close to everything. The people are good. Like my mates, I could go back in 20 years' time and it's like I've seen them yesterday.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Everyone cares. Everyone goes out their way to help you. You'll have people stop in the streets and talk to you and be friendly. It's this mad thing. So to take people back to Wales, I've always wanted people to experience Wales as well, because it is, as mad as my town is, it is absolutely beautiful as well. So all this kind of played a part in creating the project and the name, and it's just a cool experience that we're going to do in Wales. We're tying it into the Celts who lived those lives and lived on that land, so it just gives a real good story and a real good connection to what we want to achieve from it.
I didn't know they lived on that land. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wicked.
So everything there is like, it all creates this real strong bond between the story, between the history, between our future. And that's what I'm trying to create. So, yeah, name Project Arawn. Arawn is the god of the other world. And what we are doing is trying to go to our other world, which is, yes, using technology for the good, but also not forgetting to be human and be keeping that family unit strong, preparing for what life is going to throw at us as well. It's not too much of one thing. I see the trouble with a lot of retreats is they go too deep into one thing. And that's where too much of anything is bad for you. Even peace and calm and tranquility, because it can make you weak. And then when trouble comes, you're too weak to handle it. So that's my thought process. I don't want to just be at peace. I've got to be at peace, and I always strive to be at peace, but I will always prepare for war. And it's a good quote, actually. Let he who strives for peace prepare for war.
Sick.
So it's always got to have the armour, because life isn't easy, and we've got to work to master as much of it as we can.
And I take it that logo is that nutty cunt with his tongue out is a Celtic warrior, just screaming his head off.
So the Celts, what's really cool as well with the Celts, they were one of the only tribes to have women as generals.
Sick.
And women actually fought on the front line as well. So as cool as that is, it's like, especially now with everything that's going on, and it's so powerful to see that even in thousands of years ago, the women were standing toe to toe with them as well, and just everyone was in it together. There was
Dad
no,
saying
like,
to his little one, like,
yeah, there was no divide.
Mum's on the front line.
It was everyone together, and that's a beautiful thing as well. And that's something I really want to push, is we're all in it together. So instead of there's so much divide and people pushed apart these days, I really want to bring the family back together. So family doesn't have to be brothers, sisters, cousins. It's like just people. It's just your friends. Like you are a brother to me now. 100%. So it's like it's that kind of thing. You know? Yeah. It's your family is the people around you, and you look out for them as much as they look out for you. And if one wins, we all win. So, yeah, that's a real cool thing. So I wanted the Celtic head. They spike their hair with lime. So that's why he's got the spiky hair.
Yeah.
So how they used to go to battle.
It's a good tash as well, man.
They used
Strong
to throw
tash.
tashes.
That's a strong tash.
On the tash now as well. It's a bit of luck. But what they would do is they'd go to battle naked, paint their bodies with like this blue, like in Braveheart.
Yeah.
That's what they paint themselves with. And they would carry the heads of the people they killed. So you can imagine they looked absolutely
nuts.
mental, yeah. But that's how they done it, and that's how they were so fierce. And so I wanted to represent that Arawn is our other world, where we go to peace, everyone gets on, everyone lives together happy, but then we don't forget the chaos, and the face is the chaos. So we got peace and chaos. And the swords, my motto in life is, like the Japanese used to do it, live by the sword, die by the sword. And I accept anything that my actions create. So if I live by the sword, I die by the sword. So everything I create within my actions, I accept the consequence of those actions. So that's what I've always wanted that in there as well, because that's one of my biggest things. It's like who I am and what I do is what I live by. I don't try and change myself for anyone. I don't try and be better or different to anyone. What that's you real. See is what you get.
Yeah.
And that's, I live by my sword, I'll die by my sword. So
then, after saying all that, as a paying customer, what would they expect? How would their trip there be peaceful and chaotic? How would they get in touch with all that? What would you do? Like first night, would
paint them.
Day one,
give
you've
them
got some insecure person coming there,
yeah.
like, right, strip naked, we're going to paint you blue and stick our tongue out and rah.
Nah, so what it is it's a reconnection camp. So when you get there, the campsite is built on its own. There's no one else there other than us. It's in a forest, 15-acre forest. No one else there other than us. Everyone gets a room and a tent each. So the tents will be set up. Everyone gets a room each. You got your own private space. There'll be a bed in there for you as well. So you got a comfy bed. It's like a little raised camping bed. I will ask everyone to keep their phones within the tent. Obviously, people got to stay connected in some ways. If work is important work or something. So if they need to contact someone or connect with something, they can go to their room, sort that out. But when you're out of your room in the tent or in the space, no technology.
Yeah, I like that.
It's just being human. That's the main thing, is being human and reconnecting as humans. There'll be a chef there cooking breakfast, lunch and dinner, so food's covered. You don't have to worry about that. We've got one of Charlie's mates who's converted horse boxes into saunas.
Sick.
He's going to bring the sauna box there, so there'll be some heat therapy. I'm a big believer in hot and cold therapy. So we'll have dip tanks, we'll have the sauna, we'll also have the sea. And that's going to be a big part, which I'll explain next. So the space, there's toilets, there's showers, so everything you need is there. All I need from everyone is to put the phones away, put technology away, and just reconnect as humans again.
Just be willing.
Yeah, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with people around you, reconnect with the nature you're in. So every day I want people to, I don't want it to be too task heavy either. So people just be like, oh, next task now, oh, next thing now. What I want is everyone to come, and there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you to stop, switch off, and embrace where you are. So you can go for a walk through the dunes to the beach. There'll be bean bags, a couple of chess boards, Connect Force, old school stuff. Where you can just play a game with someone.
Just messing around.
Read a book, sit in the forest and read a book. The simple things of life, which we forget to do and we forget to enjoy. So we'll have all that there. What else is there? Let me just make sure we got everything in the camp. It's just,
the fires.
The fire, So there'll be a big campfire every night. There's a big area where you sit around the campfire. And again, when's the last time people have sat around a campfire with maybe not strangers, but people they know a little bit and shared stories. How cool
Mate, I've
is
never
that?
done anything like this. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Like even sitting, looking into a fire, it's meditative. You look into that and just watch the flames. You switch off from life and you just immerse yourself in those flames. It's epic. These little things which we're missing because we're just living this fast-paced life. We're obsessed with like Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. That just sucks us in every day. I do feel it's like a black hole in our pockets.
Yeah.
And
Mate, it's when you get that update, end of the week,
Yeah.
how long you've been on your phone. You're like, fucking hell.
and I'm not perfect. I'm trying my hardest to
I'm
beat
leaving
it.
for
And we catch ourselves and like, there's 20 minutes gone. I just wasted 20 minutes flicking through shit. What am I doing?
Yeah.
So I really want to create this opportunity to fix these things and show people that there's an opportunity to do it different. We haven't got to abide by these new social norms. It's not. We keep the old social norms. Go walking, go on adventures, connect with friends physically. Just live, breathe, admire what the surroundings you're in. All little things like that, which we don't stop and do.
Yeah.
We're always like this,
Yeah.
locked into the phone.
So it's going to run over 3 days, 4 days?
4 days. So Friday to Monday,
Yeah.
we'll run it. Arrive on the Friday afternoon. So one of the big parts of it, we'll train on the sand dunes. So the sand dunes are joined onto the campsite. One of the sand dunes is the second highest sand dune in Europe. So it's 200 foot high.
Yeah.
It's not vertical, but it's not flat either. It's a tough climb. So the chaos to our peace will be every day we'll go and train on this sand dune. That's our battle every day. That's our... I want us to put our armour on, which will be our gym kit. We've got sandbags we'll fill up on the dune, and we'll go to battle on that dune every day. So like they would go to a bit more drastic to war. We are just going to challenge ourselves, push ourselves to our limits,
With one of
get
your mad
through our
workouts.
fears, and just do a big workout and share the struggle, which what we've experienced in MCP is you build a much stronger bond once you've shared
Massively.
the struggle with someone.
Massively.
So those will be every single evening. Then we'll sit in the evenings. There's this like outdoor open cabin where there'll be long tables and everyone will sit together, share a meal, share a beer. Again, it's not some health retreat. We're not going to get drunk, but we will have a beer with our food. We will have a glass of wine, like they would probably do.
Yeah.
So it's like we will share that experience of the day. We will share what we experienced throughout the day, and we will look forward to the next day together as one big unit or one big tribe, you know? So those will be the main days. And then every morning then when we wake up, I'll let people get up, have a coffee, have a cup of tea, and then we'll call this our conditioning workout, where it's a mile through the dunes to the beach. So we'll be up and down the dunes, we'll be training, we'll be doing a bit of conditioning on the way down to get warm. And then every single day then we'll get to the beach and we'll start our day with a dip in the sea. And that will be like a mindset thing and a setting our intentions for the day. If we can't do that, then what are we going to be like in the training?
Yeah.
And as tough as it will be, and it will be tough, we'll all be in our own heads and be like, oh, I don't have to do
Fucking
this.
freezing.
But even if we link our arms and walk in together,
Yeah.
we do it as a unit. But once you do it, and once you get over the initial shock, you feel alive.
If you can get over that, you could do the training.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You proper feel alive once you've come out of that sea, and it's a different feeling, and it's an amazing feeling, but the mental battle is always there before you do it. So once we get people over that, they'll see a big difference in how they feel after it, throughout the day, throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
And that's how it'll be set up. There'll be plenty of food for people to eat. There'll be plenty of time for people to relax, chill out and rest. But there will be challenges, and there will be the battle every late afternoon, evening, where we share the struggle together as well. And just creating that real big bond and giving people an experience of how life could be, with technology and with everything moving through the future, we got to accept it, but we don't have to accept the way it's going.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's giving people that opportunity then to
Taste of how life was.
Yeah, a taste of how life was and how we could maybe correct it and go down a better path with all the stuff that's coming from the future, you know.
And what's the amount of people that can come?
We got 30 people, 30 spaces.
30 spaces.
So it's it's just an opportunity for. It can get bigger. There's plenty of room for more people, but in the beginning, I want to make it right, and I don't want to overdo it and spoil it for people. So I want a tight group of 30 people in the beginning. Then next year we're going to add more and more events, and then we can increase capacity. And
Yeah.
the capacity for that campsite is 300.
Fuck.
So
Imagine
there's
that.
no limit to it. Yeah, but we start small and build bigger.
Yeah,
and then
nice.
hopefully next year we will have. This is the sea camp, and the land camp will be in Snowdonia.
Yeah.
And instead of training every day, we'll hike the mountains every day.
Sick.
So that land and sea, that how they would live their lives back in the day, where they would march to different areas and set up their villages and stuff. We are going to experience that as well, but through the mountains of Snowdonia.
Sick.
So it's yeah.
And for anyone listening that wants to sign up, how do they go about it? Where do they find you?
Best place is to go on Instagram, Project_Arawn. That's ARAWN. Or they can go to yardfather.co.uk, and there's a link on the page on the website there as well.
Cool. Get
Good,
signed
good.
up. Get signed up. That's all we have time for today, bro.
Oh yeah.
All right, nice having you on.
Right.
Yes. Sick.